What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me. First off, I have some sad news to announce. I beat up the Vaxa Digital guys in the parking lot, and today I'm talking about SwitchFrame, which you'll learn about in a second. It was birthed from Vaxa Digital, but just to clarify that. So without further ado, let's talk SwitchFrame. So SwitchFrame was birthed from this idea that companies need more video. I ran a company called Vaxa Digital, now being acquired, and we created about 5,000 video ads for 85 different brands over the last 3 years. What we realized is every single company needs way more video, and there's not a solution to do that. So right now, 86% of businesses are creating video ads in some way or another, whether that's TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, you name it. The platforms are endless, but the process is non-existent. There really is no place to do it without spending a ton of money on editors, creative platforms, cameras, everything you need to do to make video ads at scale. And there's just no process for it. There's no simple solution that covers from start of finding your creators, your influencers, your customers, to collecting that, to editing that, to testing that, and now scaling up the winning videos. So that's why we created SwitchFrame, out of a problem that we saw firsthand in creating about 5,000 video ads. So right now, this is kind of what the process would look like if you're creating a video ad. You'd use a platform like Google Drive, Dropbox, Video Ask to collect testimonials from from customers. You'd then edit it in something like Premiere, CapCut. There's a billion editing tools out there, but again, a very manual process. From there, you might test it on Meta, TikTok, LinkedIn, Google, etc. But again, there's no automated way of doing that. You're manually using Google Sheets and Excel files and Google Docs to figure out, okay, is this video converting? What about that video actually converted? Okay, how is this video converting? So you're manually naming these videos, testing these videos, exporting that into Excel sheets, Google Docs, etc. And it's a very comprehensive process. And then when you want to scale those, you have to use a combination of basically all of those tools to now re-export the winning videos to take the best attributes from video 1 and pair that up with the best attribute of video 3. And the only way to do that, go back and reference your Excel file, your Google Drive, and figure out, okay, we've got a little bit of analytics here that we had to pull manually. How do we bring this back together now in an easy to scale fashion? And there's just no way to do it. And that's how we birthed SwitchFrame. So SwitchFrame is an end-to-end platform starting with collection. So there's no need to go outside our platform for any of this process. It starts with taking your customers, your clients, your brands of a business. So if you're a PitchBreakfast, for example, and you want to reach out to more PitchBreakfast attendees, you could collect testimonials from people who went to PitchBreakfast and say, I love PitchBreakfast, XYZ, these are the things I love about it. And this happens in our platform really easily from a mobile website. You don't even have to download an application. You're recording a video testimonial. Maybe you're a brand, a coffee brand. You're recording what your customers love, why they switch to your coffee, et cetera. From there, it generates, using AI, every possible permutation of these answers that were collected. So if David answered a couple things he liked about the coffee brand, and Mark answered a couple things he liked about the coffee brand, it's going to assemble every single answer to those questions and every permutation possible using AI in about 60 seconds. So it's going to take his hook 1 paired with his feature that he likes and his hook 2 paired with his feature that he likes. Generate as many as 2,000 videos a minute on what people love about your product, your platform, your brand. And now we're going to go test those, which is the third part of the platform. Again, this all stays within one platform. When we get to the testing piece of the platform, it's automatically sending it through APIs to Facebook, Google, YouTube, anywhere you're running these video ads, starting these campaigns for you, setting the budgets for you, and now testing every possible permutation and extracting that data back into the platform to say, hey, for example, David's hook is way better than Mark's hook for whatever reason, so we need to do more things with David's hook. And it's going to tell us, but actually, Mark's call to action at the end of the video outperformed David's. So if we combine those two pieces together, again, fully automatic, there's no manual editing involved, it will now combine those two pieces so we have what we call the perfect permutation of a video ad for a specific purpose. And that's when the scaling piece comes in. So now it moves to the scaling piece of the platform. And what happens is it automatically scales it up based on constraints, based on spend, et cetera. So it's a fully inclusive platform with the goal of replacing basically everything we showed in the last slide, all of those different platforms. So that being said, a little bit about our team. My background is not in the video space by trade. I've been making videos since I was a kid. I love making videos. But actually I went into the corporate world for a little bit. So I started my career at Accenture, did strategy and management consulting for digital brands, Bank of America, et cetera, for about 4 years. Loved doing that, built a great foundation for business, but COVID hit, things changed. I wasn't traveling as much. Got poached by Bank of America. I was an AVP of digital strategy at Bank of America, so figuring out what greenfield ventures the bank could get into, I was responsible solely for launching our FinTech Accelerator program. That was my project. Got to be fully immersed in the startup environment, loved the startup environment, and then as COVID continued to be a problem and my time was now being underutilized, decided to start Vaxa Digital, which is my video agency. So for the last 2.5 years, been running that full time, now in the process of being acquired and shifting my focus fully to what we're doing now at SwitchFrame after learning basically every pain there is to creating video ads. And that's kind of how this now comes full circle. On our team, we've got 2 amazing engineers, a full stack front-end engineer that's built the platform to where it is today, as well as a back-end engineer that we just hired to really reduce our dependence on external APIs. We want to have every aspect of the platform internal, so we just recently hired our back-end engineer as well to kind of grow this at scale as we continue to evolve the platform. In terms of our business model, our main part of the business is a subscription basis. So for example, you're a coffee company again, and you want to create video ads, whether you're a small coffee company that just started, or a much larger company, we have basically a credit-based system that allows you to scale as you grow. So you can start out making a couple hundred videos a month, all the way to enterprise clients that we're going to be targeting, like Procter & Gamble, that have 4,000 SKUs for products that they can't possibly manually create enough videos for. You know, we have enterprise-level packages for them as well, and that's what we're going to be targeting, in addition to small and medium-sized businesses. Finally, real quick, the competition, we are the first to market with an idea like this. We have a couple competitors that have aspects of the platform, but we are the very first end-to-end platform that really covers all bases of creating video at scale. In terms of projections, we project in the first 12 months we'll be hitting roughly $1 million in ARR, and we'll get to that in a second, and happy to kind of share how we got to that number. But we already have some initial traction, which I'll get to in a second. In terms of our market size, it's huge. Anyone who's running Facebook ads, we created our TAM based on the 12 million advertisers currently on Facebook. They're spending a good amount of money. Everybody is trying to create these TikTok-style ads, Reel-style ads, et cetera. And so the market is pretty much endless. And if we can just capture the smallest bit of that, kind of using a bottom-up approach, 2,000 customers by end of year 5, we're at about $35 million a year in annual revenue. In terms of early traction, we have an alpha that's currently live with 8 customers. We're getting about 8K MRR as part of a private alpha, so we are collecting revenue right now. We have a platform that is working and is in customer hands, getting early feedback. We were just recently selected for Venture Atlanta. We were down there speaking. I know we chatted down there a bit. So we have some good traction. We have a big beta wait list that's ready to join and grow the platform. And to get it to market, I have hundreds of agency connections, brand connections through my agency, and that's going to be our real go-to-market strategy. In terms of what we're looking for and what we're looking to raise, I've self-funded the platform from scratch. I've self-funded our developers, but to get it to the next level, we do need to raise some capital, and that's where our pre-seed round comes in. So we're looking to raise $500,000 via safe notes. Most of that's going to go to development costs, a little bit towards marketing and sales, going to conferences, speaking events, and finally a little bit for operations, overhead, salaries, et cetera. So that is SwitchFrame. Thank you, guys.
Me go first, Justin? Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, nice job, Justin. I think, you're clearly a pro. The deck looks super solid. You have you hit all the points on there. What this can be, what your ask is. Digging in a little deeper, one of the questions I had was, who is the sell to? Is the sell to an agency, or is the business you're selling to doing this on their own self-service? Does that make sense? Like you hand it over to them and they do it, and you're completely out of it, or are you giving it to an agency and they're doing it on behalf of a customer? Does that make sense?
Yeah, great question. So we're both is the answer. I mean, we're not going to be targeting direct to customers. Our go-to-market approach is find agency partnerships that we can leverage, have them bring the customers on as individual accounts. So even if they chose to leave the agency, they could still self-serve themselves. So we could certainly onboard a brand. We have a very automated onboarding process where a brand could come do it themselves. But to grow much quicker, this is how we grew my other company. We just built really strong agency partnerships. We sell to one agency, they sell it to 60 of their clients, and we can grow it a lot quicker that way. But they could always continue to use it themselves even if they left that agency.
Go ahead, Mark. Jump in there.
Yeah, just a couple I mean, this deck is awesome. You've done this, we get that, right? Both these pitches today, probably the two strongest pitches I've seen. I'm not kidding, in like the longest time. It's great work. Yeah, this is awesome year end. Stylistically, right in the pitch, here's one thought, right? Short format pitch like this, 6 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is. Less about you mid to 70% deep and like you up front. It's like, here's my thing. I'm selling a business. It's services business. We learned something, right? That's actually a very typical scenario, right? Amazing how many software companies come out of services businesses, right? What you learn. So that gets me hooked. And then the other thing that I was just missing was like, is this done? Like, where are we, right? The fact that you have alpha and you have 5 or whatever it was, 5 to 8 users and are almost opening beta, that higher up in your explanation gets me like, so we're not thinking about building something, we've actually built something already. I wasn't clear on that. So it's like, here's why I'm here, here's why this thing exists, and it's been built. Which is not traditional, like the textbook pitch or like, kind of close off with team and how strong the team is. It's like, I think you need to kind of start with that. It's just my audible on how you might get that hooked better. Just the first time hearing you talk about this. So that's just coming on the style side. And then you're dropping concepts like AI, and like immediately my head's like, all right, what are we talking about, right? Is it machine learning? Is it natural language processing? Are we transcribing words that the computer's reading from the video or the audio? Like, so again, not wrong to go there, but when you go there, you have to follow up at some point. So I'm not saying you didn't, but like that's where I'm probably gonna want to go. It's like, wait a minute. So now that I know you have some tech and you're talking about some pretty sophisticated things, so just be, management, time management and content management in these pitches is important. Get me focused on what you want me focused on. If you want the investor focused on how unique some of this tech is and how that enables the automation of the workflow, then that's something to reconsider. I'm not saying you're not doing that here, but you're not crushing that pitch, right? So I don't know, and that's a super nuanced, detailed feedback point because this is a great pitch. But I'd think about that as like, because I'm just like, wait a minute, I get it, like the workflow here needs to be improved, but how hard is the tech lift? Like, how significant of a lift is it? That's where I think a lot of venture investors are gonna want to go next with you, so.
No, great feedback.
Yeah, good work. Yeah. And congrats on the progress. I mean, this is like, it's really cool.
Justin, have you done any, I'll kind of.
Oh, no, we'll go beyond this, so yeah, like we got.
Well, no, I was going to hammer home Laura's pitch on the kind of customer discovery. Have you, one of the big questions I always ask is, this is a huge market, right? Any brand, any agency, like focus. Do you have that ICP, ideal customer profile? Like, hey, I really think it's the small agency, or I think it's the small brand, and we're really going to go deep there for the first 20, 30, 40 customers, and then you can kind of grow from there. I don't know. How do you think about it? Where's the need greatest?
Of course, yeah. To your point, it can service really anybody that wanted to use the platform. I think the need is greatest in the 10 to $50 million a year businesses. So e-commerce has always been my background. That's where all of our clients are currently. But it could solve insurance company problems, creating content. It could solve healthcare, content issues as well. So where we're starting though is the 10 to $50 million a year businesses that have a budget to spend $2,000 to $10,000 a month on software subscriptions and see the ROI behind that because they can then fuel that ad spend with enough money to get that return. So that's where we're starting, but I should definitely kind of incorporate that in. In terms of specific stakeholders, marketing directors and CMOs are kind of our target persona that we're going after, but it could be really, again, a small business CEO as well that wants to grow through video.
Again, this is you don't have to know the answer to this yet, but how do you think the sales process might work? Is it, again, you raise $500K tomorrow, are you going to hire 2 people and they're going to be banging on the phones to get people to a web demo, that get to a close? Like, how do you think the sales process might work?
Yeah, great question. So thankfully, I've been selling video for the last 2.5 years through my agency. I was the person responsible for doing sales, so I got to kind of learn what ticks there. Again, agency partnerships are what blew up that business very quickly. So my role in this business to get it to market and to get clients quick is going to be to target the 5 to 10 agencies that I see don't have their creative systems locked down. Say, hey, we're going to give you a 20% referral kickback for selling our product to your customers. Incentivize them to sell it to as many of them as possible. Make their ad buyers and marketing people perform better because now they have more creative. So it's a win-win-win kind of for everybody in that situation. But yeah, I mean, that's our main kind of go-to-market approach. And I I'm new to selling software, but I'm experienced in selling video now, so I can convince anyone as to why we're needing to invest in video at this day and age, and why you need more TikTok videos and Instagram videos, et cetera.
On that, yeah, more customer discovery. Again, this would supplement this kind of short form pitch. Next meeting, second, third meetings. Again, okay, we got 5 or 8 customers in alpha. Like, here are the things that we're really working on, right? List of kind of engineering or technical hurdles you're looking to clear with the alpha, and customer, I don't know what to call them, but use cases, right? That just demonstrates, again, like a level of understanding, right? So you're grinding towards like what is going to work, right? Customer discovery, you're drilling into that funnel, right? And then the beta, hey, we're thinking ahead, like we're raising around. We're going to learn this on the sales and marketing side. We're going to learn this on engineering and tech, and we're going to try to learn this on customer product market fit. Like, even if that's all in your head, it's so helpful to get it out on the page. And you and the team can even do that in more narrative formats, like just write memos about like, here's what I'd like to test. You guys get together, collaborate on it, show investors and or customers that you're thinking ahead about where this could go. It'll differentiate you from, again, like the startup that's like, yep, this is great tech, we think it's going to crush, and we're just going to be like shooting out there and seeing what works. You'll get more credibility faster with investors that way. But yeah.
And we do have a pretty detailed roadmap for the next 12 months of like what we want to target and milestones, but not in a 6-minute pitch. Yeah.
Product-focused, tech-enabled product people in the room, that roadmap and getting your tech lead and or your product lead and the vision CEO, leader, salesperson, like getting that to gel is part of your challenge as an early stage company. So the more you do that and demonstrate that you're doing that, I think the easier it gets.
For anyone trying to make a roadmap, and make sure your lead engineer is in the room with you as you do it. Otherwise, you're going to have some explaining to do. Yeah.
Justin, I would just hammer home maybe the thing Mark said from the start. Like, the very first question I ask an entrepreneur is tell me the founding story. That's important to me. We invest in founders, and again, just hammer that home. Like, hey, I built this and sold, and I saw this problem, and this came out of that. Like, there's no more perfect scenario than that. So, hammer that home. That's really, really, really important. And clearly, you already have traction and customers, and so yeah, I think you're off to the races. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's it.
Thank you, guys.